Hello everybody and welcome back. It is MMFQ Death here, and today I have an awesome mod for you guys. It is called the Airzz Plus mod. I just recently found it on the Minecraft forums, and this mod I thought was really well done. The mod page was really in depth. It has its own installer, so you guys don't have to know how to install mods on the new launcher. It's just a really well done mod, and I feel like it needed some more coverage, so I felt like I'd do a mod review on it. So first off, it is compatible with Biomes of Plenty, and it adds trees. So the trees, I'd like maybe if they had a wooden planks equivalent with them, because I'll show you that here in a second. They don't, they just convert straight from logs into sticks, which is good, but in my opinion, I think it could be better. So if they had types of wooden planks, just, you know, a little bit more variety, and it adds some cool stuff so that you can do some building with the mod installed as well. Anyways, so these are the different types of trees that get added. I'm not going to go through what every different tree is or anything like that, but these are the trees that are added. So just to give you guys an idea of what they look like, and some of them look pretty cool. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to get in depth with some of this. So I only use the first wood that you get. Like I said, there are tons. 12 in total to be exact. Let's just set the time back over to morning. So these are the first type of wood. I'm guessing is entry level because it's the first one. So aspen saplings, you get logs. Logs will convert from one log into 8 different sticks. And then you can use 3 sticks and 3 string to make a bow, depending on what type of wood you actually use to make it. So that's good to keep in mind. And every bow has its own unique little effect. Like here, the aspen bow is standard. It does +3 to attack damage. I enchanted mine with Infinity 1. All of them have Infinity 1 for me, just because that way I don't have to make multiple arrows or spawn any in. So then the next thing is it adds iron nuggets, or iron shards to be exact. You can turn 1 iron ingot into 4 iron shards, and then you can use 1 iron shard instead of flint to make arrows with normal crafting, depending on what type of stick you use. And 1 stick will give you 1 arrow. So this crafting recipe does only give you 1 arrow, which in my opinion makes more sense because you only have 1 tip, 1 stick, and 1 feather. You can't make multiple arrows out of that. So you do only get 1 arrow, but each arrow has its own ability, such as this one being the aspen arrow has 25% chance of breaking and a standard type of attack. So I will go over all of the different arrows and bows abilities here in a moment, but first off, I did set up a little shooting parlor for us, if you will, and basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn a creeper down here each time, and I'm going to shoot off the bow. Oh yeah, I'm on peaceful, so I'll have to fix that, but then I'm going to go over the bow and the arrow that I will be using at that point. Did he spawn? Let's get you out of there, bro. Yeah, anyways, I'll fix that, and I will come back to you guys as soon as I am ready to test out the first bow, which will be the aspen one. Okay guys, so I now have a arrow in my inventory, and as you can see, the bow's texture changes depending on which arrow you have equipped. So that's a good way to tell you what arrow you're going to be using. So I now have the aspen bow, +3 attack damage, so no special thing here, and when you pull it back, it does act normally, except you can see it moves around with the bow. So I'm not doing this, it's just doing it on its own. Let's try to, oh, miss. All right, let's see if we can get a little bit more of an accurate shot here. This is 30 blocks away, so keep that in mind. All right, still couldn't hit it. So I think we're just gonna go up normal, just to show you guys what it's gonna like do when you hit. So if you were to hit it, the standard does 6 points of health damage. So let's just go ahead and kill this thing, and I will come back to you guys with the next bow. Okay guys, we are back, and this is the cottonwood bow and its arrow. So let's go ahead and do this like this. All right, so let's go ahead over here and spawn ourselves another creeper. So this is the second bow and the second arrow. The effects on this one are lightweight and unstable, and 50% chance of breaking. It is lightweight and accurate. So the arrow is lightweight and accurate, but the bow is lightweight and unstable, and you can really see that it's really moving around on me here. This is just me holding the button. So let's go ahead and shoot it. So that did 7 damage. But basically, the thing with this mod, which I thought was really cool, is you can see that it's not just about what bow does the most damage, or what has the most straight flight pattern or anything like that, but it's really more to do with what bow you can really use more towards your actual play style, which for me, I wouldn't obviously want this type of bow, but yeah. So anyways, I will be back here in a second with the next set of bows. Okay guys, we're back. This is the outer bow, strong string, and 30% chance of breaking standard. So apparently this is just a strong string bow. It doesn't have any flight patterns or anything, and it actually is a lot easier to control than the last. And that did 8 damage. So it looks like we are gaining about 1 DPS, or 1 damage up per bow. So that's good. And this one, you guys can see the flight pattern is a little bit lower than the last. The arrow kind of drops down, and it's not really that straight. So that's kind of a difference. So I figured we can just do this pretty quickly here, just by shift clicking. So this one, the bow has strong string and slow draw, and this gives 30% chance of breaking on hit, wither, and heavy. So the arrow is heavy, which means it won't fly as far, and the bow can possibly wither. So that's a cool effect, and it did wither it for 6 seconds there. So that's gonna do quite a bit of damage. So yeah, half of its health, and the arrow is heavy, keep in mind. So if I were to shoot it like that, you're gonna see it's gonna drop really quickly. So it's, yeah, that was a, oh wait, I thought that was a full draw. Yeah, there we go. It takes a while to draw this bow. But you can also see that it kind of ducked over to the right there, so there is wind resistance with arrows, so heavy arrows are not affected by wind as much as other arrows, but they are in certain scenarios, and yeah, everything's really confusing. It's like it turns Minecraft's bow physics into an RPG, which is kind of cool. So the gunbow has slow draw, and the arrow is lightweight and accurate and can cause slowness. So this is definitely not one of my favorite bows at all. Yeah, it did quite a bit of damage. 9 damage and slowness for 10 seconds. So that's actually quite a good, yeah, that was pretty good. Not gonna lie, that kind of made up for it being horrible. So the soft maple arrow gives 15% chance of breaking. It's unreliable and wind prone, so it's definitely going to be swayed. And the soft maple bow is just standard with a 4.5 attack. So let's go ahead and shoot this. Really easy to control, actually. This one barely moves around. What? Oh, the arrow, I'm guessing, broke. Okay. Yeah, and I'm guessing that means that the arrow broke. I think that might be what the breaking is for. Okay, well, that makes sense, I suppose. Alright, yeah, so it looks like this one breaks arrows quite a bit. And you can see that one got winded a lot and went straight down almost. And yeah, it breaks arrows quite a bit. And the arrows do not fly far. This bow is not very good at all. Neither is the arrow. So now let's move on to the ash arrow. 75% chance of breaking and chance of blindness. And the bow is very accurate. So this may be one of my more prone to actually using. Oh no, look at it. Oh my god, it's wiggling around everywhere. Alright. Ooh, 10 damage though. It did not cause blindness because we would have seen that. But yeah, so that is the ash bow. Let's go ahead and swap this back to morning again and move on to the next one. So 15% chance of breaking, can't pierce armor, poison, and very accurate. So that's the arrow. So I'm not going to spawn in a zombie and try to get one with armor, because I'm sure that you guys can guess it cannot pierce armor. So if they are wearing armor, because this is for SMP, then they will not be hurt by this at all, but it can poison, and it's a very accurate arrow. So this one has a slow draw. Now keep in mind, the bows do not have to be used with their respective arrows and vice versa. You can use any bow or arrow that you want. It's just I'm doing this for the sake of time. So this bow seems pretty good. It doesn't seem horribly difficult to maintain. Okay guys, I just tried recording this 2 different times, now the same part. So I originally thought it was the beach bow that was causing the crash, but it seems to be the beach arrow. So do not use this. It causes a CTD, immediate crash to desktop. and I tried using a different bow. It still crashes. The arrow, or I mean the bow is fine, the arrow is just really bugged, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that. So let's go ahead and take this bow and arrow out for a shot. Let me get rid of these lines again real quick. Alright, and let's go ahead. This is the hard maple bow and hard maple arrow. The hard maple bow is very stable, a 7 attack damage, and the hard maple arrow is knockback and block penetration. So if this were to be, wow, this is really, really nice that it's not jittering around. And 14 damage, that is just ridiculously good. This is probably one of my more favorite bows out of using this mod, honestly. It's very stable, it doesn't move around too much. It's just kind of like you have the F8 button pressed, if you know what that feels like. Let's go ahead and try to hit this little portion of the tree down there. And yeah, the arrow is a little bit inaccurate, but the bow is magnificent. I really like the hard maple. So let's move on to the hickory bow and arrow. The hickory is very slow draw, very strong string, and unstable. But it has a 7.5 attack damage, whereas the hickory arrow is 100% chance of breaking, heavy, and destroys one block. So we may shoot it at something here in a bit. So the hickory bow, look at it just wiggling around, takes forever to draw it fully back, and 16 damage. That is really good, actually. So apparently we cannot shoot it without it being drawn all the way. Alright, so let's go ahead and shoot it at a tree over here when it's fully drawn. And it does, wow, it does destroy a block. Well, I don't actually see a block drop over there, so I'm assuming you don't get the block that it drops. Let's just try it right here. For one of these, make it look like an Enderman stole it. Yeah, so it does destroy the block on contact, so keep that in mind. Don't want to be shooting this around your personal belongings. So let's go ahead and drop this back in there, and let's try out the mahogany. I'm just going to go ahead and set my game mode to peaceful for a second, and then set it back to easy. If I can get it there, alright. Let's get rid of those annoying slimes. So, the mahogany bow is stable, accurate, and sights with control. So if you hold left control, I'm guessing you have sights, and 10% chance of breaking, heavy knockback, but very accurate. So let's go ahead and control. Yeah, you zoom in if you hold control. And wow, 17 damage. This bow is actually really nice. Really easy to control. It's not very, very movie and jittery or anything, and the sights definitely can come in handy, so that's a nice thing. The arrow, heavy, knockback, and accurate. I'm sure that we would see the knockback effect if he wasn't closed in, but the heavy, you can definitely see the arrow does not fly very far. So that's something to keep in mind when choosing your arrows, is how far they will fly. Now the Cypher's bow, 10 attack damage and teleportation, and the Cypher's arrow, chance of breaking, random flames, explosion, or insta hit. So this is obviously pretty much an end game item here. So it is very jittery. Let's go ahead and shoot the creeper. 20 damage, immediate death. So let's go ahead and shoot him again, and just 20 damage again. All right, so I think we're gonna mess around with this bow a little bit before we end it off. So I think if I got that correctly, I will teleport to where the arrow hits or something. Maybe. Yeah, okay, so sometimes you will teleport. Let's go ahead and... Ooh, there was an explosive. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to shoot this slime. Or near it. Teleported and exploded. Alright, let's shoot right there. Alright, so teleported and fire. Looks like that one was a flame. That one was nothing, I'm assuming. That one was nothing. Maybe you just have to hit the ground for... Yeah, there was an explosive. And a flame, it looked like. That one was a flame, teleport, and explosive. This bow is pretty cool to mess around with. I am not going to joke. I don't think you can just shoot for a very long distance and then teleport. Maybe you can. Maybe the first one... Oh, yeah, you can. Okay, so the first one just didn't work. So let's try to teleport all the way back to our mob arena over there, if the arrow will fly that far. And it looks like it's gonna, yeah, pretty close. So that's, this could be a very cool item if you're going to use something of this sort. Looks like it unloaded the chunks though, but that's not bad. So anyways, you guys, hope you enjoyed this mod review. If you did, or if you found it helpful, please leave a like or a comment down below. If you guys have any other mods you'd like me to review, then go ahead and post them down below in the comments or PM me over YouTube. And as always, it's been MMFQDeath, and thank you all for watching. Abadumcha.